it's interesting because when I first told to speak out here and everything, I really didn't know what to say. I usually tell my testimony of how I overcame homosexuality. But God was like, you can tell something different. Like, okay. So November 4th comes, and that's usually the day I celebrate being set free since 2013. But that day something different happened. I got delivered for something that I didn't even know I needed deliverance from. So I was talking to my father that day. Backstory, I wasn't raised by him. I was raised by my mom and stepdad since I was like a year old when my stepdad came in. I didn't know about my father until I was like in 8th grade. Even then after that, I didn't even have like a good relationship with them. It was like I knew about him. I knew of him, met my brothers and stuff like that inside the family. But we just kind of had like a chill relationship. You know, there was no hatred, there was no need for nothing. It was just like, all right, cool, you my pops, all right, cool, whatever. So he was telling to me, he was like, you know, I need to talk to you about something. I was like, all right, cool, what's up? And he was like, you know, I would hate for you to go around telling your testimony, you know, casting out demons, prophesying, and you bust hell wide open because you don't love me. And I was like, oh, wait, what you talking about? And he was like, you know, he could tell that when I would be around, like, even though I wouldn't disrespect him, that energy just wasn't ticking. You know, I respect him because he was my father, but I ain't trying to deal with you. The more I was grieved because you couldn't tell me I ain't love Jesus. Like, if you know me, or those that know me personally know, like, that's all I care about. Jesus, do you know Jesus? Do you know Jesus? You know, oh, you getting demon manifesting? All right, name of Jesus come out. Like, it don't matter. I'm in that thing. But for him to say all of that had me question heart. Like, well, where am I faith? You know, like I thought I loved you, and he was like, you know, we can't say we love God, but yet we don't love our grandma. We don't love our aunt, our uncle, that person that raped us, that molested us. Even the ones that are dead that you think you forgave, but low key, if somebody bring up their name, you feel that feeling inside of you. Like, no, I don't talk about that person anymore. They've been dead. But yet you can't forgive somebody that's been dead all those years. Why are you still holding on to them? And so when he was showing this all to me and everything, I was just like, I was hurt. I was crushed because he was like, you know, if you died right now, people will put you in heaven. You're like, oh yeah, we know, because Sister Kamara, you know, she did all that for the kingdom, and she made disciples, etc., etc. But y'all would bust hell wide open because I didn't love him. Somebody I saw whenever I went to go visit him. But yeah, I claimed I loved a man that I've never seen before. What kind of sense does that make? And so to read, you know, 1 Corinthians 13, it's like, you know, Paul was like, yo, I can speak with thousands of tongues. We can all the time. But yeah, he says it's a plain and simple. So you saying that to God, and all God's hearing is he's like, I don't hear what you're saying. You know, he's saying, you know, we can give ourselves to the poor, give our clothes and everything away. It doesn't matter. You know, the one thing that caught me was when he said, I could be a martyr for Christ, but if I still didn't have love, it would be for nothing. There are people in third world countries, y'all, that are getting their head chopped off, being persecuted, all these different things, and they don't love, and they're thinking, I just did an awesome thing, I just died for Christ, and they're going to wake up realizing it was for nothing. All this singing we just did, the deliverance, God's still going to use all of that, but was it for nothing? All the singing we just did, the rapping, He's going to use all of that for His glory. And you still not going to make it in because you can't forgive somebody. And the thing is, I thought I didn't have no unforgiveness for him. I'm just like, I don't have a problem with you, you know, like, we've been having a conversation, I'm not mad at you for not being there for birthdays or whatever. But I had to think about, my mom was hurt. My mom was, 17, 18. He was 14. He lied about his age at the time. And so when I came into this world, I was birthed in bitterness. I was birthed in hatred. So that seed was already planted in me. It didn't get water until I started interacting with him, and then small things started irritating me. So then things started getting planted up, so now I had unforgiveness in my heart, and I had no clue. And so I want to make sure today that everything we just did was not for nothing. It was not in vain. You can sing the Clark Sisters, Is My Living in Vain? Was our singing in vain? Was this in vain? Was all the prayer in vain? Was all the speaking in tongues in vain? Was all the shouting in vain? Was the prayers, all this stuff, was it all in vain? And so my last question would be, if somebody said, who do you need to forgive? If you have a name that pop up in your mind, whether they're dead or alive, Jesus. I would suggest you, before this night is out, to come up here. Because this thing is real. Because it'll be messed up for you to do all of this for the kingdom. And still go to hell. This isn't for the sinners. This is for the saints. The folks that can testify and can do all this and can preach and prophesy and everything. It's not for folks that's not saved. It's for the ones who proclaim that we are saved. But yet at the same time, we don't know how to love. We're irritated with people. Then that's not love. You don't like talking to your neighbor. That's not love.
That's not love.
Oh, my grandma be calling me all the time and it's annoying. That's not love. All these small things that you be feeling inside of other people, that's not love. That is what's going to prohibit you from getting to the kingdom.
Man.
But God is a God who's like, I'm going to still use you, and I'm going to still get people set free, and you just want to make it in.
My God.
So make sure before you leave tonight that you actually know for yourself that you have forgiven every single person. I'm not saying you got to talk to the person who done raped you, molest you, and be best friends with them. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is make sure if you saw them in the face, you can be like, I love you regardless of what you've done to me. I love you regardless of what you said to me. I love you regardless of the fact that you wasn't there for me. I love the fact that I love you regardless of the fact that even though you abused me, I still love you. So at the end of the day, God still loved you before you even set free for anything. He still loved you in your mess. He still loved you out in the streets. He still loved you when you were cheating, gambling, all that stuff. Yeah, he still loved you in spite of. So can we do the same for other people?